MLB has a low offer from NBC, but maybe some interest from Apple. It wants the most money and the most reach. Maybe MLB should turn back and talk to ESPN again. We'll discuss. Plus, YouTube's big move, and now a big fight over an ESPN exec. Around the Horns finale, and more questions. Plus, we'll have your questions. It's all next on a Feel Good. Everybody loves sports media. I'm Andrew Marchand. He's John Meterparel. John, the latest MLB, some big news. Last week we kind of know we've talked about NBC being someone who could be interested. I've heard some numbers in terms of what their offer was. Not going to say it just because not fully confirmed, but a lot less than the $550 million that ESPN was going to pay if they continued their deal, but they opted out. Then MLB opted out. ESPN currently has Sunday Night Baseball, the Home Run Derby, and the playoffs. So the first round, 8 to 12 games. NBC would not have the Home Run Derby in this arrangement. I've heard some rumblings about Apple maybe having some interest, but it's hard to tell with Apple. Someone told me they wouldn't pay a lot, but maybe they would, but then you have a distribution issue. So anyway, that's where we're starting. Big news out of MLB here on Memorial Day, which to me is like kind of really the start of baseball in terms of you start looking at the standings and everything.
Yep, I see one number, 27 and 28. That's your Boston Red Sox at this point. They define mediocrity, but you know what? The grill is heated up. Not that I'm a griller. I know you're a griller. I do no manual labor. I've never done manual labor in my lifetime. I don't know how to grill a hot dog. I don't know how to make a burger. Although I think I could grill a hot dog, but a burger would be problematic. How about you?
Yeah, I get on the grill. I can get on the grill. I don't know if I'm a grill master, but I can get on there. Listen, we had Orand on last week. He said he'd like baseball to go on strike now because the Orioles are so terrible. At least the Red Sox look like they still have a shot, maybe at a wild card. All right, we're gonna get to that. All sports media, a lot of questions, and YouTube. That's a big deal. The hiring that they've made now, it's a little bit of a fight, but still there's significance in the Justin Connolly hiring. We're sponsored by WSC Sports. Asset management capabilities have been added into the platform out of the box for no extra cost for all clients, old and new. You got to use WSC Sports. No longer do you need to juggle or pay for multiple tools to complete your content workflows. It all happens in one place. Go to WSC Sports in the show notes. Click the link, yell demo, and tell them Marchand sent you. June 3rd, off the record with me, Andrew Marchand, presented by WSC Sports in Midtown. The commissioner of the NHL, Gary Bettman, will be our guest. Sign up in the show notes or on your email. Thursday, Mark Kriegel, author of Baddest Man, Making of Mike Tyson, already conducted the interview. Really great stuff from Kriegel, how to be an author, about the stuff about Tyson, his other books, Joe Namath, Pete Maravich, must read. And we gave the first Papa Clicker review in front of an author. So that tells you maybe it might have been a good one.
Oh, I bet you the Papa gave it a strong 4.8.
I'm not going to give it away. 4.8 would have been a world record.
I know.
4.7 is the highest. 4.65 is tied for second. So I probably didn't have Mark Kriegel on. Then at the end, hey, Mark, here's a terrible review.
Here's a 3.3.
So you can kind of guess that that's good. We're a twice-a-week podcast, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Marchand Meterparel on Tuesdays, the main event on Thursday. Let's go. What's up? What's down?
All right, since you're batting leadoff, Mr. Ricky Henderson, what's up in your world?
NBC's Premier League. And the reason why is that when you look at what NBC has done over the last decade or so with the Premier League, that's a perfect example of growing a sport in a country, growing a platform. And why has it worked? Well, it's worked because even though I don't like how you have to subscribe to a number of different places to get everything, this weekend, it's your championship Sunday meet. They have all the games at once. The NFL would never do anything like that, taking away money. But it's because of competitiveness. There's a lot of things being decided, so you want everyone playing at the same time. It makes great excitement. NBC does a great job because you can see every game. You can watch kind of a red zone type screen as well if you want that. And so they've really raised the game over the years. And the reason why also, and I would say this to anybody who produces soccer, they treat the fans with respect, that we're actually interested, that we know something that's going on in the league, and not, we're explaining offsides like back in the day. So my what's up, NBC/Peacock/USA, CNBC. They're on all the channels, Premier League coverage.
All right, my what's up is one Mark Packer from the ACC Network, who announced his retirement this past week. I know Mark a long time. Full disclosure, I work with him in Charlotte. We worked together, but I learned a lot from him. He transitioned as a sports marketer. He was a novice in broadcasting. He ended up hosting a sports radio show for many years at WFNZ in Charlotte. I was his sidekick on the afternoon show. As a 23, 24-year-old kid, I learned the value of hard work and doing your homework. This guy was prepared, ultra prepared, writing things down on a notepad. He had about 12 pages of voluminous notes, kind of like Marchand before he writes a column. And you know what? That made an impact with me. And I've been an admirer of him ever since he's gone to the ACC network, of course. And I just admire the fact that he's passionate about what he does. If he is retired, he's still a young guy, Billy Packer's son. He's had a long career. But if he is, good luck, Mark. You deserve a lot of credit. They'll miss you at the ACC network.
100%. Congrats to Mark. My what's down, MLB, RSNs, the Yankees and Mets are both playing the Dodgers. The Mets played the Dodgers this past weekend. Where are the games? Any on SNY? No. Apple TV on Friday. Fox on Saturday. ESPN Sunday. Next weekend, same formula for the Yankees and the Dodgers. You got an NLCS replay from last year. Then you got the World Series rematch this upcoming weekend, and none on the RSNs. Okay, that's fine. And I don't even have as big a problem. This is where the Apple deal is just sort of doesn't help because you lead off the series. You're on Apple. It's not Siberia, but if you look at they don't give the subscribers, but Apple doesn't have great distribution. That series to me did not get the shine that it should have, and this upcoming one won't probably either. And so to me, that is an issue that MLB has to figure out as it goes forward.
Yeah, I heard Mad Dog Russo's rant on that last Friday. He was not a happy guy. I'm not watching it. I'm just not doing it. I can't find it. All right, my what's down. Dave O'Brien, Red Sox, play-by-play on Nesson. Dave had an unfortunate moment recently in the booth with his partner, Lou Merloni. Let's hear it.
This is where Rafael's really swung the bat. 351 with runners in scoring position.
Zedon hitting 351 with runners in scoring position.
Now, this is something you and I have talked about before, the value of listening. You have to be a good listener in broadcasting, especially in this role when you're the play-by-play voice of a major league team. You must listen to what your partner says. If you repeat what your partner says 6 seconds later, that's not a good look. Now, I know the internet is an unforgiving place, and this made the rounds a little bit locally around the Boston sports media scene. And Dave's really a good broadcaster. He does a lot of good work. But this hurt, I think. This leaves a mark. It's something that you learn from and you move on. I think we've all done it. God knows I've repeated what you've said in the past. But you have to learn from these mistakes. And I'm sure Dave O'Brien will get by it, but still a little bit leaves a mark a little bit.
Yeah, this made the rounds in the Boston market, and it's going to leave a mark. Oh, you see what I was doing there? Yeah, Dave O'Brien. I was repeating you.
I like it.
Thank you. Dave O'Brien does a great job, but yeah, that was who knows? Maybe he was getting a cup of coffee. But yeah, so somehow that did not sound good. So Dave O'Brien gets a what's down from Meterparel. If you want to listen to the rest of the pod, andrewmarchand.com. Just sign up, upgrade. You get all the podcasts, $6 a month or $60 a year. You get your full. If you do the full year, you get your full value the first month. The rest of the 11 months are free because you already got your value. Same thing with the monthly. First week at full value. The rest of the month is basically free.